about hypothyroidism because I know it firsthand. I struggled with it myself. Welcome back to my channel. I am Sylvia. I'm a carnivore diet coach. In May of 2021, I went to a fertility doctor to see if I can still get pregnant. I was then 41, and I know typically you've been told to try for 6 months, and if you don't get pregnant, then go ahead and start fertility treatment. But I wanted to know if there are problems up front, given my age, because at 41, 6 months is make it or break it. If you need the fertility treatment, it's best to start it as soon as possible. So I got tested. The doctor was fantastic. He tested me for every possible disorder that can be detected through blood work. And one of the things that came up was that my TSH was elevated. It was about 3.5 versus the range from like 0.3 to 4. And then I had thyroid antibodies in the range of 14.4 international units per milliliter, whereas the range is 0 to 0.9. So I was officially hyperactive thyroid and with Hashimoto's. At that time, I was about 1.5 years into the carnivore diet. I was symptoms-free from rheumatoid arthritis. And probably, in hindsight, I should have done all the testing beforehand, before starting off the carnivore diet, because it would be very useful for the audience now, because I didn't know, maybe I had Hashimoto's and a lot worse before I started the carnivore diet, but I just didn't know, and maybe actually I was on the way down when I got tested for it, and maybe it was improving all along, I don't know, or maybe it just started. There's no way to tell. I did, however, have problems with underactive thyroid since I was a teenager, and I took iodine for it, acupressure, acupuncture, and some other herbal remedies, and I think that helped because I got through most of my 20s and 30s without really thinking about thyroid. I was also born and lived in the region that was affected by the Chernobyl disaster. So everybody in my family, mom, my grandma, my sisters have thyroid issues, hypoactive, hyperactive, autoimmune thyroid, like anything you can think of, there's problems with the thyroid in my family. So not surprising that it affected me as well. The doctor said that if we're gonna do fertility treatment, then I have to bring down my TSH and my antibodies, because it will affect the pregnancy and also may prevent of conception. These were the words of the fertility doctor. He prescribed a low-dose Thyroid. It was about 25 micrograms. I took it for 4 or 5 days. I was feeling horrible. I just watched my hair fall out. I felt like my eyes were going to come out of their orbits, and I was feeling very nervous and anxious. So I went back to the doctor. I said, this is not working for me. I don't want to take it. He insisted that I do, or else we might not be successful with the fertility treatment. I tried to take it for a couple more days. I was feeling awful. I then came back to the doctor again and suggested, can I do the desiccated thyroid? He said no, and then I did it anyway. Now, I never moved forward with the fertility treatment because I was already pregnant naturally. I just didn't know it. I was about 2-3 weeks pregnant when the results from blood work came back. So I never did the fertility treatment. However, because of the recommendation, I continued with the desiccated thyroid and had my TSH and thyroid monitored by my midwives. I knew I had to test my thyroid postpartum, but I never got around to doing it. So as a half measure, I was taking about 30 micrograms of desiccated thyroid as a capsule from Ancestral Supplements. And I would do it on and off, not all the time, just a couple months, then break for 4 to 5 months, and then do it again until I get to check my thyroid. And I finally did it this week, and it came back, my TSH, at 1.09, which shows good results. The doctor I went to didn't want to test me for antibodies. That's a whole another story. I asked for many different blood work to be done, and this doctor was not open to it at all. So I have to find another doctor, that maybe in the endocrinologist, that will be more open just to look at my body holistically. So if you are wondering what I have done, I am pretty consistent for the last 4 or 5 years with carnivore diet. I never come close to gluten, dairy, not even like homemade raw milk, yogurts, all that. I pretty much stay away from it. About 100% of what I eat is animal-based. During the summer, I will add some fruit, and that's about it. I go into ketosis, but I don't stay all the time in ketosis. I usually do the stints of like 3 months of ketosis and then take a break from a couple of months. I do better in ketosis during the winter, and I do a lot better if I'm not in ketosis during spring and summer. So since I gave birth, my main form of supplementations are the organ meat, particularly desiccated thyroid. And there was one other thing that I've added, mostly to have more energy as a mom of a small child and being sleep deprived. And I was taking NMN. It's nicotinamide mononucleotide, and I was taking it as a powder under my tongue first thing in the morning. And maybe there were some effects on my energy levels, but I couldn't tell definitely. Then I switched to this one, which is from Hello 100, and it's liposomal. And this one I have to swallow, which is something I try to avoid. But for whatever reason, this liposomal NMN seems to have good effects on me. And I can't quite put the finger on it. There is something that this compound does that just elevates the entire body. It almost like it supports everything that your body has to repair. Because I did other blood work, and everything seems to be like I'm aging backwards. Like if you look at my labs, I will continue doing my labs because this doctor was not very helpful or useful to me. So I have to find another one. So I'll report back. But it seems that just the aging in the blood doesn't show, and my body repairs better. So since 2021, I stayed on the carnivore diet. I did desiccated thyroid as a supplement, and then I added NMN. And I do it also periodically, not all the time. Okay, there's one other one. Ever since I started acknowledging that I may be dealing with perimenopause, I do 50 milligrams of DHEA. So these are my supplements. Now, word of caution. Okay, word of caution here, very important. If you are just starting out with a carnivore diet to treat chronic disease, stay away from the supplements. I didn't do any supplements, none, 0, when I was using carnivore diet to reverse rheumatoid arthritis. You're better off not doing it. This is more when your gut permeability is normalized. You can try to introduce some supplements, but not too many and not all the time. So when it comes to reversing of conditions that affect other organs, so in this case, thyroid, we're dealing with two membranes, the gut membrane and the membrane of the organ affected, so the thyroid. So you are using the carnivore diet to seal your gut, and then you have to be patient because certain conditions take a lot longer to normalize versus just the dysfunction of the gut. In fact, the gut dysfunction gets fixed fairly quickly because the cell turnover for the gut cells is about 28 days. All right, so I hope this has been helpful. I think you have to give it a little bit more time if you are using carnivore diet to address autoimmunity of other organs, not just of your gut. Because remember, you are fixing two membranes, your gut lining and your thyroid membrane. I am a little bit puzzled with the effects of NMN on my blood work. It does seem to have anti-aging effects. From what I can tell so far, it almost like helps everything else to work optimally. And if you guys think that I need to get into anti-aging, let me know. So far, this wasn't the area of my interest, but maybe it's time. Yes, I will. If you want to check out the supplement, I will put the links in the description box. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.